Hey YouTube, Alan back with another Master System Monday, and this time we're going for what many people consider a classic is Afterburner. Of course, Afterburner is one of the big name Sega sprite scaler properties from the mid to late 80s, and it was also the first 4 meg cartridge on the Master System, and it had to be because, of course, how else are you going to squeeze in all of the various sprites? The Master System doesn't have any sprite scaling hardware, so you're going to need something to help compensate. And to do that, they basically just have lots of different sprites. Well, I say lots; they have some. Now, I got to be honest, I'm not a huge fan of Afterburner. At least, not this interpretation or the Mega Drive. I think it's Afterburner 2, the Mega Drive, whatever it is. I actually prefer maybe Space Harrier for those type of games, but I just generally don't really like these kind of sprite scaler shooter games. And I think the Master System, well, I think it does an admirable job given the limitations of the hardware. But fundamentally, I think it's probably just out of its depth to try and bring what was a pretty advanced arcade game for the time to the system. So you have to give the developer some credit, but it's just not my cup of tea. Now, for those of you looking at the game itself, the box, and manual, you might think, oh, that's a portrait one. Well, this is a US copy, and that's why we have this portrait manual. And I think the US copy has a much nicer artwork, which we'll get to in a second. So yeah, you have your standard US manual, which is portrait. You got, a few screenshots, nothing too, fancy. But hey, it's got more than Rampage did with its 2-page manual. So there we go. A few pictures of I guess, presumably the stage bosses. And refueling. I am never able to refuel. So, yeah. Or generally, I struggle with that part. There's your manual. You have your standard Sega cart. Nothing too fancy. And you have your box. It's an arcade hit. A 4 mega cartridge. Have to put that loud and proud. And you have the plane shooting out. Like, I actually think the artwork, compared to very early Master System artwork, you can see they were really stepping up their game. You have Afterburner, Sega Smash arcade hit comes to life on your Sega system. You're a Navy air captain. At your control is the most advanced fighter jet ever to set the skies on fire. You supply the skill, reflexes, and guts, and so on. Yeah, you might notice the page is a bit ruffled. There's a reason for that. Poke amongst yourself, children. That's because underneath I actually had the PAL artwork as a comparison. So yeah, I think that line drawing one just is nowhere near. It's the same. It's basically the same thing. You got your 2 planes being taken down, but yeah, even the arcade hit, the swoosh in, just feels more in your face. But in Europe, they apparently felt it was more important to say the 4 mega power, the 4 mega cartridge twice, essentially telling you about that it was 4 meg. And you have, are they the same screenshots? They're the same screenshots, but in reverse order. Of course, yeah, you'd have to do that, and you got a cut down version of the text. So yeah, that is Afterburner. Not my favorite game in the system, but I absolutely do appreciate. Look at the title screen. That's actually pretty, decent attract mode. It was a good effort for the time, and I could totally see, having some fun with it. So it's not Back to the Future, but it is one of those things where it probably is a little bit of rose-tinted glasses going on in terms of, is it worth going back to today? I'm sure that many people would say the same about many of my positive picks, ones I'm saying, go and try. So, that's the thing about retro gaming. You have to consider, do you have the same, nostalgic feelings, and try and separate that from the core mechanics of the game. Very, very difficult. Anyway, I'm rambling a bit, so it's good time to end it. We'll see you again next time.